What's up, Lollipop? My name is Joe, and finally, we have the iPhone 14, the iPhone 14 Plus, the iPhone 14 Pro, and the iPhone 14 Pro Max. It's really a mouthful saying all these names, and they came up with the plus and everything, and it's absolutely fantastic. We have a lot to talk about today because Apple has introduced a lot of things for us, and it's truly amazing. So let's get in there. Let's deep dive into this whole thing, and let's see what we can expect and what we should expect now that we know all the details and how it's going to look like on September the 16th when these devices are going to be in our hand. Whew. First of all, I don't know how many of you guys are here in the comment section. I really want to know your one-word opinion about today's event because I think it was fantastic. I think it was great, and I think that there was something that I wasn't expecting that blew my mind, and I think I know, or you know, what I'm thinking about. First of all, let's talk a little bit about what Apple introduced to us today, because it was great. It was some unexpected things, some things that we already knew. Just get it out of the system. Let's talk about it. Let's browse through on what Apple has delivered for us today. So if I go over here to the Apple website, you can see a couple of things. First of all, their new Apple Watch page has been updated, and as you can see that there's a new Apple Watch for us. It's the Apple Watch Ultra. If I go to the AirPods page, you can see that there's a new AirPods Pro, and they decided not to call it AirPods Pro 2. It's just the second generation. It's still called AirPods Pro, or second generation. And if I go to the iPhone tab, you can see that there are two new models. One is iPhone 14, and the other one is the iPhone 14 Pro. These are the new devices that we have, and they're extraordinary. And as you're seeing, one of the things that blew my mind from the first moment I saw it. Let's go bit by bit on what actually happened over here. So we have the AirPods Pro second generation, which looks and feels exactly like the first generation, except for the fact that it has some new features introduced, and it's been rebuilt from the sound up. Now, it has a new chip. It's the new H2 chip, which helps it provide us a more immersive sound. So you're going to have a better sounding experience. You're going to have deeper bass, clearer, more distinguishable sounds around you. And the surround sound is actually going to be a lot more better. And now the computational algorithms deliver even smarter noise cancellation. This is the one big thing about the AirPods Pro 2, which is that it provides 2 times better noise cancellation. So if you think that the normal AirPods had great voice or sound isolation, noise cancellation, then the AirPods Pro 2 is going to have an even better one, actually 2 times better. Also, there's a really cool algorithm in there that for transparency mode is going to help us distinguish different kind of noises. Let's say you want to use transparency mode and you want to talk to someone, but there's a construction right next to you. You turn your AirPods into transparency mode, and what you're going to realize is that it cancels out the construction work and it amplifies the sound of the person you're talking to. So it lets through only the sounds that you want to hear, and the sounds that you don't want to hear, it's not going to let through. This is really cool. Apart from that, the case is new. Or before we get into the case, we have different sizes of tips. Now we have an extra small tip. The S, M, L are standard, and the handle of the AirPods basically is not only like a touch control, it has a swipe up or down for different kind of things. You can press to play and pause the music, and you can swipe up and down to adjust the volume, which is pretty cool. I've imagined this in a lot of times, and I was like, why don't they have this? Well, now they do. You can all the sounds that you're listening to is tuned to your ear because it can recognize the type of ear you have. You can even do a picture with your iPhone of your ear, and it's going to calibrate the speakers to your liking. And here is the case. The case can be charged with a MagSafe. It can be charged with the Apple Watch charger, and it can be charged with Lightning. 6 hours of listening time in the earbuds and 30 hours in the case itself. It has a U1 chip, so it works with the Find My system, and it helps with precision finding, just like, with the AirTags. And it has a built-in speaker, so if you want to find it, you can just alert yourself, and it's gonna be able to, find it. You can play a noise on it, so you always know where it is if you're connected. It's IPX4 sweat and water resistant, which is great. And that's everything that you need to know about the AirPods. Now, the other new thing that they introduced was the Apple Watch. And the Apple Watch comes in 3 different new versions. First of all, let's talk about the basic version, which is the Apple Watch SE. The Apple Watch SE is still the iPhone 4 design, 40 and 44 millimeter sizes, as we knew. It starts at $249. By the way, the AirPods start at $249 as well, or AirPods Pros. All your bands that you have from before are still good. It's still swim suitable. It's redesigned with the planet in mind, blah, 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 yabba, yabba. It has a new chip inside, and basically it's just an updated version of the SE, which we really needed, because the last SE was basically like the iPhone or Apple Watch Series 5. This is more like the Apple Watch Series 7 in regards to power. Now, if we look at the other Apple Watch, which is the Apple Watch Series 8, it's the new generation Apple Watch coming from the Series 7. What you get is the same size screen. It's a little bit brighter. It can do all the things that you could do before. All of your bands are good. And introducing temperature sensing. So it senses your temperature when you're sleeping, when you're working out, etc. It knows what temperature your body is having. And this is more oriented towards women. When you have cycle tracking, for example, to understand your cycle like never before, our Apple Watch Series 8 has an innovative new sensor that tracks your temperature while you sleep, so you can see changes over time. Cycle tracking uses data to provide a retrospective estimate of when you're likely ovulated, which can be helpful for family planning, which is actually pretty cool and pretty good. It's nice to have these kind of features. So you have the blood oxygen sensor in there, you have the heart sensor, you have the ECG, and now you have a temperature sensor in the Apple Watch. It is exactly the same design as previously. Nothing much has changed. If we go over, let's actually go to the Apple Watch page, because I think we're going to be better off if we look at the technical specifications or the compare sheet. So the quick look is it's 50-meter water resistant. It's swim proof. It has all the sensors, temperature sensing. It has emergency SOS, fall detection, and a new sensor, which is called crash detection. So if you have an accident with your car, you are going to be, or the Apple Watch is going to be able to recognize the car crash, and it's going to alert emergency services. It can recognize a car crash from the frontal, from the back, from the side, and if you roll over with the car. It has a redesigned compass app with waypoints and backtrack, which is really cool. If you go hiking, you always know which way to go back. And the battery is up to 18 hours. Fast charging is also available on here. The Retina display is the same. The case size is the same. Materials and finishes are stainless steel and aluminum. With the SE, it's only aluminum. And the colors are Midnight, Starlight, Silver, and Product Red. The stainless steel is graphite, silver, and gold. In case of the SE, it's Starlight, Silver, and Midnight. That's all you get. You don't get a pink version anymore. Wow. Okay, no more pink. No one buys the pink. It looks like it. Then the new thing, the greatest thing is in terms of Apple Watch, because, I mean, the greatest thing is the iPhone, obviously. But the new Apple Watch Ultra, which is the most rugged and capable Apple Watch ever. All new product, or robust design, titanium case, precision dual frequency GPS, up to 36 hours of battery life, and 3 specialized bands for athletes, GPS and cellular. Now, the price for the SE, it starts from $249. The Series 8 starts from $399, and the Ultra starts at $799. It has GPS and cellular. With the Ultra, you get a 49mm case, a certified IP6X dust-resistant and tested military-grade drop resistance, customizable action button. Oh yeah, it has an action button that you can customize to anything. 100-meter water resistant, swim proof and recreational dive to 40-meter. It has a depth gauge with a water temperature sensor. It's a pretty cool little device, but probably not for me, as I'm not much of a person who goes, hiking and goes outdoors so much, but I can understand if someone really likes it. There's a 60 or 86 decibel siren to attract attention, which can be heard from 600 feet. Gyroscope and high accelerometer and everything, and also this has the crash detection as well. It's a pretty cool little device. It's 36 hours of battery, but if you use low power mode, it can be up to 60 hours. Now, the key difference is that the Retina display on this one is flat. So the screen is flat. It has a 2000 nits of brightness, which is twice as bright as any other Apple Watch, which is really cool. It's 49mm the case. And this is made from titanium, which is one of the most durable materials on the planet. Whew. And there's only natural titanium color for this version. But enough of these. And let's talk about the iPhones. Let me start with the first thing that blew my mind. That was basically the as you can see over here. Let me just show you this because it's hard to talk about it if you haven't seen it. Learn more, and you're gonna see the animation. The iPhone 14 Pro, and as you can see, the notch changes depending on what you do with the phone. And magical new way to interact with your phone. It is called what's it called exactly? Here. Dynamic Island. Whew, boy, is this something cool that Apple came up with. Now, we had the leaks and rumors of the iPhone 14 before, and we saw that the notch is going to be like a camera plus like a pill-shaped cutout, but we have never imagined that it's going to be something so dynamic, so useful. All of our notifications, all of our applications, and whatever we need to know about our phone resides up there in the Dynamic Island, and it's really cool. It's a feature that I did not expect, and they won me over with this because it's just a great software implementation of something that is limited by hardware, so they decided to use it. I really, really want to know what you guys think, if you have any ideas on this, especially if we're watching a sporting event like NFL or something, and I will be able to see the scores on each side of the camera system. Is really cool. Timers and everything. Where can I share this live to somebody? You can share this everywhere. Just click on the share and just let it go. Let it go, bro. Always on display. This is another new thing. Now, I know I went into the iPhone 14 Pro really fast, and I didn't really talk about the iPhone 14, but the iPhone 14 didn't get so much upgrades compared to the iPhone 13. The iPhone 13 was a great device, and basically the iPhone 14. All right, let's go actually back and let's talk a little bit about that because it's at least worth mentioning. But the Dynamic Island blew my mind immediately. So if we have the iPhone 14 over here, the biggest difference compared to the iPhone 13 is that there's no mini, and then we have a new bigger 6.7-inch iPhone 14 Plus, which I think is going to be a great device, and a lot of people are going to go for that, and that's why I think Apple couldn't release that on the 16th of September, and they're going to release it on the 7th of October. Now, it has emergency SOS via satellite. All of the iPhone 14 models have this. It's a really cool feature that your phone is capable of connecting to a satellite and basically send your location, and you can send messages to emergency services on what the problem is and where you are. A huge leap in new low-light photos, so it's going to be better in low-light photography, low-light in videography. It's the same aerospace grade aluminum. You still have the ceramic shield glass, and you have 5 colors, which are purple, this Sierra blue, you have the midnight, you have the starlight, and you have the product red. There is no 120 hertz display, nothing like that. There is no upgrades in terms of display, nothing new. The emergency satellite is cool, and if you buy the iPhone 14, you get emergency satellite for 2 years for free, and then it's going to be a subscription model. Imagine going out into the wilderness, not paying for this, and then finding out, whoops, I got lost, I'm going to die because I didn't pay the subscription fee. Anyway, battery life, it's going to be better on the iPhone 14 and 14 Plus. It's going to be the best battery life ever on iPhone 14. Get our best battery life ever on iPhone 14 Plus. So the best battery life is going to be on the Plus model. Wow, up to 26 hours of video playback. I needed a little drink. There is 21% more screen compared to the iPhone 14, but that's not new. We had a bigger screen before with the iPhone 13 Pro Max, and the iPhone 14 Pro Max is bigger, so it's just very clever marketing. The camera has been upgraded. A new 12 megapixel camera is implemented in this device, and 12.5 times better low light photos and 2 times better low light. Up to 2.5 times better low light photos on the main camera, and 2 times better low light photos on the ultra wide camera, which is also great. Now you get this action cam, or whatever the name is, action mode. So whenever you're running, it is going to keep your phone super smooth. It's like a gimbal. And it's really great. Home movies that look like Hollywood movies, they have perfected, or actually made the cinematic mode a little bit better. And of course, the selfie camera has got upgrades too. It's a 12 megapixel camera over there, better low light photography, etc., etc. The thing is with the iPhone 14 that it only has the A15 Bionic chip, so there's no big difference with the chip compared to the iPhone 13, which is a bummer. We're still going to have the same processor that was in the previous generation. This is the first time Apple has done this, so the leaks and rumors were true. And also, in the American model, there's not going to be any more SIM tray. Pardon me, there's not going to be any more SIM tray. It's only eSIM from now on. That's the iPhone 14. Not a big difference if you ask me. So let's go on to iPhone 14 Pro. iPhone 14 Pro is the big deal this year. And should I say, iPhone 14 starts at $799, iPhone 14 Plus at $899. iPhone 14 Pro starts at $999, so no price increase. And iPhone 14 Pro Max starts at $1099, no price increase. That is great. Now, I've talked about this. We have the beautiful dynamic island over here. That is a great software implementation. But what we also have is a 48 megapixel camera, and I will talk about that in a moment. First of all, let's go through what the phone actually looks like. So we have a deep purple color, we have a gold, we have a silver, and we have a space black. These are our options, and to be frank with you guys, I'm not a big fan of the purple. I never thought of having a purple phone, but at least it's gonna go with my nanoleaf lights behind me, so you know it's gonna look good on camera. Ceramic shield, great. We still have that just from the previous version. The dynamic island is a great addition. And the lock screen. So we have the always on display, which is great. So even if your phone is turned off, you will be able to see all of the information, the time, your widgets, and your wallpaper. And if you get notifications, they will be able to be shown over here as well, which is a great addition. Your photo, your font, your widgets, your iPhone. Of course, with iOS 16, we get customizable backgrounds and customizable lock screens, which is actually super great. But that's iOS 16 that we already talked about and seen it. Now, in the sun, the phone is going to be 2 times brighter, which means the peak brightness outdoors is going to go up 2,000 nits. That is something truly great on the XDR display. This also has the emergency SOS via satellite, and it also has the crash detection. The Pro camera system gets a massively more pro, and it's time to talk about the camera. It's a 48 megapixel main camera with an advanced quad pixel sensor and up to 4 times the resolution for jaw-dropping cropping, blah, 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 blah. So you're going to get great resolution with your photos. 48 megapixels is truly really cool. A 65% larger sensor than the iPhone 13 Pro. And even my iPhone 13 Pro did fantastic photos. I don't know about you guys if you have iPhone 13 Pros, but it's truly astonishing. So new 2 times telephoto with 48 millimeters. Ultra wide is 13 millimeters. Ultra wide macro is 13 millimeters as well, and the main is a 24 millimeter lens in there. Whew. Much more detail, much less light. So you get 3 times better low light photos, 2 times better low light photos on the 3 times better low light photos on the ultra wide, 2 times better low light photos on the main camera, and 2 times better low light photos on the telephoto camera. Also, they improved the cinematic modes, 4K 24 or 30 FPS, and you can even edit the depth effect after capture. And you have the action mode in this one too. You can see how freaking stable it is. I guess the camera guy over here was running with the person, and it's stable. It's super stable. Hey, Kingdom Empire, welcome to the live today. Now, here you see all the details about the camera system. So it's a truly great camera system. It's going to be bigger. So you have your iPhone 14 camera system over here, or 13 Pro Max camera system over here. It's going to be a lot bigger than that. Now, if you go to bestiPhoneaccessories.com, you can already check out the iPhone 14 cases. So I strongly suggest you do that, because you can see over there how much bigger the camera hole is on the new cases. And you can get whatever you want, chargers, cases, cables, whatever. Now, this needs to be run by something truly powerful. So it's the A16 chip running inside here. And that is A16 Bionic. Geek out. No, I'm not going to geek out on the specs. Or actually, I'm going to geek out on the specs. Let's talk about the specs right now. So what it allows you to do, it's going to have 50% more memory bandwidth, so it's for complex graphics in the latest mobile games. Handles demanding workloads smoothly and efficiently because it's a faster 6-core CPU. And it's going to have a better 5-core GPU, 17 trillion operations per second, allowing for pixel-by-pixel analysis to optimize your photos, which is really cool. Here you have your 5-core GPU. And does it say over here anywhere that there is this part down here is basically just running the display. It's running the display because the screen is now an LTPO display, or the display is an LTPO display, able to go down to 1 Hertz. That's how you get the always-on capability of this phone. The battery life is going to be 29 hours on the Pro Max. Holy moly. 23 hours on the iPhone 14 Pro. This is going to be a truly all-day battery life. And in the American models, there is no SIM card tray. That's a lot of things. That's truly a lot of things. what I do believe is I've been using iPhone 13 Pro Max to shoot videos for this YouTube channel and my other YouTube channel, Apple Pie. And just the quality of how much better my iPhone is than a professional camera. I use a Canon camera, and I realized that with the iPhone I can do a lot better videos, all in all. And it's truly something great. I hope that this is a great development and a great upgrade compared to the previous version, to the iPhone 13 Pro Max, because I am going to be getting the iPhone 14 Pro Max, and I will be testing the hell out of it, camera comparisons and all the bells and whistles that come with this. When are you going to be able to purchase? First of all, let's look over here at in the pricing. You can pre-order this device on September 9th, so this Friday. It's actually not saying over here. Here, pre-order starting Pacific Daylight Time, Pacific PDT. I don't know what PDT is. Anyway, New York time, 5 a.m. September 9th, and it will be in your hands on the 16th of September. So that's next Friday you will be able to use this phone. If you go into the stores, I doubt they're going to be having any available models, although you might be lucky. Now, the only difference between the availability is if you want to get the iPhone 14 Plus, because the iPhone 14 Plus is going to be available for pre-order on the 9th, but it's only going to be available in your hand on the 7th of October. I guess it's true that they had some production issues and they couldn't get it ready for us. This is basically an iPhone 13 Pro Max, because it looks like an iPhone 13 Pro Max, but with only 2 cameras. The dimensions are exactly the same. 6.7-inch display, everything with the same chip inside. So it's basically that. The iPhone 14 is basically an iPhone 13 with a little bit upgraded camera. But if you have an iPhone 13, it is not worth for you to upgrade to the iPhone 14. Trust me on that. It's not that big of an upgrade. The Pro is pretty good. I mean, from a 13 Pro Max, probably not worth upgrading for. I will do it. They won me over with the dynamic island, and I just want to have my notifications in the dynamic island because I think that's super cool. And I'm so happy that this did not leak. It did not come out in iOS betas and nothing. So it's really, really cool that this is truly a unique feature for us. And this is basically what the iPhone is going to look like. Let me show you guys. So this is how it's going to look like, the new iPhone. There you go. This is actually the new iPhone, the iPhone 14 Pro Max. So I cannot, no, I'm just kidding. This is actually a screenshot of the iPhone 14 Pro photoshopped with a camera, and it kind of looks like if I turn my phone upside down like I have the iPhone 14 Pro. I just want to experience watching NFL games and seeing the score on both sides of the dynamic island. I think that's going to be one of the best features, all in all. In regards to the iPhone 14, do you think it is something worth paying the same amount of money for that you paid for last year, and not a lot of things changed? Apart from the colors, you get the Sierra blue color. If that's worth for you that much, then by all means, go ahead. If you're the outdoorsy person and you want to have peace of mind that you don't get lost, then it's worth it because you have the satellite connectivity, the GPS connectivity, which is great. And other than that, not much difference. You're going to be able to do fantastic photos with the iPhone 13. You don't need the iPhone 14 just because of the photo qualities. In terms of the Pro, that's a different story. That's something that is actually pretty interesting. We will have to see a camera comparison. The 48 megapixels are a big deal, and Apple will let us shoot 48 megapixels in Apple RAW, so we're not limited to 12 megapixel pictures. although in normal mode it will provide us with 12 megapixel pictures, but in the RAW you can actually shoot 48 megapixel pictures. But I mean, look at this island. Look at it. It's just so cool. I want to see this animation all night. You have the music up there, you have the timer up there, your alarm, your airdrop, your flights, your AirPods connected, your Uber, your charging, and yeah, they didn't show. But I guess if I go to YouTube, and I'm just going to do that right now, I go to YouTube and Apple, and I want to see when they introduced this. And here it is, Apple. And we need to take off the music, and I'm going to put it here for you guys. So when they introduced the dynamic island, they showed like sports scores, which was really cool. Here they're talking about different kind of things, and satellite connectivity. Here you go. So this was the part that was with dynamic island. You have the camera. This is how the camera system is put together for us, which is really cool. So it's not two separate parts. It's actually one cut out with a Face ID sensor and the camera in there with the updated camera. And they wanted to reimagine how you can do all of the interactions on your phone. And they are going to show the sports scores, I think, right about now. So you have, yeah, exactly. You have the sports scores over there, and the sports scores will be able to go up on top, and you can see different kind of teams. There you go. This is what I want to see. I want to see Tampa Bay and whoever they play with, and I want to see their scores because I think it's going to be super cool up there. I don't know what you guys think, but I think this is one of the coolest things. Now, we don't get an updated battery percentage, that's for sure, and the leakers said that we might get updated battery percentages, but no, it's going to stay like this. We have the one in iOS betas that doesn't really look nice. Maybe it's going to look better on this phone, but we have a lot more screen real estate. The problem is when you're watching a movie, it's gonna be weird. Let me just show you. If there was a video of when they were watching a movie, pro photo video. I actually don't know where it is. Anyway, it's not really. So it's really intrusive in the video, but this is basically all the new things that we get. So you get the Pro camera system with 4 zoom options. It's 0.5, 1, 2, and 3. You get a 48 megapixel main camera, photonic engine, which takes more pictures at the same time and combines them together. You have an adaptive flash, which is a true tone flash, 9 LED lights. Depending on what kind of content you're taking a photo of or where you're taking of, your phone will be able to recognize that environment and will use different kind of flashlights. It's a true tone flash. As I said, it's a 2000 nit peak outdoor brightness. It has the always on display, new 12 megapixel ultra wide. The dynamic island is fantastic. You get the satellite SOS or emergency SOS via satellite, and the A16 Bionic. And you obviously have the ProMotion display, which is the 120 hertz display, as well as the 1 hertz. So it goes from 120 to 1 hertz when you're not using the device. And action mode is a super stable mode that when you are running around is going to be fantastic. Now, the ultimate question: is it worth your money? I think so. Vicky Sam, hi. Welcome from India, and hello from Barcelona, Hungary. Both, actually. Now, the thing is that if you are upgrading from an older device, if you're upgrading from a 12, an 11, then it's 14 all the way. Don't even think about it. If you are upgrading or you want to upgrade from a 13 or a 13 Pro, then think about it. Apple doesn't design these phones for you to change every year. It designs these phones for you to change every 2-3 years, and that's when you really feel the impact of having a new phone. It's crazy spending another $1,100 for the Pro Max, and in different kind of regions. For example, in India, Vicky Sam, what's the price of these phones in India? Can you look it up on Apple.India? Because I know for a fact that in Hungary, I'm just gonna convert this to dollars if anyone is watching from the States right now. 1,000, or it's gonna be 659, I think, divided by 400. It's $1,600 for this phone. That's the reality of how much this phone costs. So, if you can get a plane ticket from Europe to the States, it's cheaper to fly, get the phone, and come back. How crazy is that? How freaking crazy is that? But that's the situation. That's where we live. Different parts of the world, different kind of regulations, and different kind of pricing strategies. Who would have thought that an iPhone can cost more than a car, maybe even 2 cars? So this is the iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max, and I'm switching back from Android to iPhone, but can't really say that the iPhone 14 is worth it at all. Depends what kind of Android you're switching from. I'm very interested in what kind of Android you are switching from. Because in some cases, I can totally agree with you that it's not worth going back to this. Although, in a smartphone, if you consider what are the most important things, for me actually, it is battery life, it is camera, and it is the display. And in these aspects, this phone is above than a lot of other phones. iPhone 13 was one of the best battery life in a phone. Camera, this is going to be a tough challenge to beat. I guarantee that. Do you know how that dynamic island works? The dynamic island, I'm going to show this again to you guys over here because here you go. It's super cool. So you have the dynamic island over here, and basically it turns on when you get a notification. You set a timer, you use Face ID, you use different kind of systems or different kind of operations on your phone. And as you can see that when it is being used for these kind of things, it dynamically changes to the thing that you want to use it for. For example, you connect your AirPods. Boom. It shows that AirPods are connected there. If you get a call, the call comes out from there. If you look at sport events, the score will be up there. If you turn on Do Not Disturb mode, it's going to be up on there, and it's going to say Do Not Disturb is on. If you connect your AirPods, as you can see, you put it on silent mode, it's on charging. It always shows you the kind of information that you need to know. You pay with Apple Pay, you need Face ID, as you can see, it all comes out from there, and I think it's a great implementation of something that is physically there and they cannot change. Or, I mean, they could change, but they just didn't change. I'm currently on the OnePlus 8T, but I just want to ditch Android. Bro, I understand that you want to ditch Android. I totally get that. I think it's going to be a fantastic upgrade for you. Even if you don't feel that it's a great value at this moment, trust me, the ease of use of the operating system, the quality, and the small details that you get when you use the iOS operating system is going to be worth it for you. And you're going to have a fantastic and stable camera system all the time. And I think that's something important when you get a phone is with a lot of Androids, you can do the best photos on earth sometimes, but then sometimes they come out as shitty photos. With an iPhone, consistency is key. You get great photos all the time. You don't get the best photos, but you get great photos. Maybe with this iPhone 14, you will be able to get the best photos as well. So it's just like a balance. And battery life is going to be fantastic for you. So I truly say that don't worry about it. All right, Danny. I mean, is this the part of the screen? But iPhone 13's island, if you touch it, nothing happens. But this phone, yeah, this is the camera and Face ID. So just like with the iPhone 13 and 13 Pro and Pro Max, when you use the phone, you have this Face ID sensor in there with the camera. I'm actually going to put it up here for you guys. So you get this Face ID sensor. Now, with the iPhone 14, this is how the Face ID sensor looks. And there's a camera in there. Now, this is always going to be black because this is the camera and Face ID. But whenever there's a notification, the screen around it changes, it turns black, and that's how you get those bubbles. So iPhone 13 notch and iPhone 14 notch. Yeah, if you want to change from Android to iOS, but you think it's a good choice to choose the iPhone 14, I think it's a good choice to choose the iPhone 14 if you're coming from an Android. I think it's going to be a great value for you, and it's going to be a great value for a lot of years to come. You get this phone for 5 years minimum. It's going to be a superb phone. If you look at the iPhone 12 series over here, this is still a great value. This is still a very good phone. This is iPhone 12 Pro. And if I compare the 12 Pro to the 13 Pro, the main differences is the 120 hertz and a couple of small things. But year over year, there's not such a big upgrade. You get camera, you get processor, you get these kind of things. And so is it going to be with the iPhone 14. It's not a year-on-year, great big upgrade year-on-year to the iPhone 13, but if you switch every 2-3 years, it's going to be a huge leap forward. And especially if you're coming from Android, I think it's going to be a huge leap forward. So you're not going to regret going to the iPhone 14. So iPhone 14 Pro, Pro Max. iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max. How great is it? What do you guys think? I truly want to know. And if you want to stay tuned to the review, the unboxing, and everything that you need to know about this device, stay tuned. I will be releasing a everything you need to know about the event video very soon. Subscribe. And let me read this one more comment. Let's be honest. You have to pay like 150,000 forints, which is like $300 for a fancy notification bar compared to the iPhone 13 Pro. You are correct. You are correct, my friend. You're very correct. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Until my next video, stay safe and hang loose.